Planet Namek. Welcome to a green sky, bluegrass planet that looks peaceful, but it's where one of the most famous anime fights ever happened. After Frieza blew up planet Vegeta, Namek became ground zero for the Saiyans' revenge. Goku versus Frieza started as a regular battle and ended with Frieza slicing himself, a Super Saiyan transformation, and the whole planet blowing up, literally. The fight was so long, it took over 20 episodes. Namek is still remembered as the place where Goku went Super Saiyan for the first time, and anime power levels changed forever. Marineford. This is the Marines' HQ. Big gates, giant walls, and even bigger names. When Ace was captured, Luffy came here to save him. But it wasn't just Luffy, the Whitebeard pirates, the Marines, the 7 warlords. Everyone came. What followed was total chaos. Whitebeard caused earthquakes, Akainu melted the battlefield, and Luffy tried to punch through it all. But in the end, Ace died, and so did Whitebeard. Marineford wasn't just a war, it was the moment One Piece changed. The old era ended, the new one began. The Leaf Village. This is Naruto's home, and it's been under attack more than once. The most famous? The Pain Invasion. 6 versions of Pain flew into the village and destroyed everything. Yes, everything. One shout of Shinra Tensei, and the village became a crater. Naruto came back and fought Pain on what used to be his home. It was one ninja versus a god, but Naruto didn't just win. He changed Pain's heart. The battlefield became a lesson. Even in ruins, peace is possible. Trost District. When the Colossal Titan kicked in the wall, Trost was the first place to fall. It was also where Eren turned into a Titan for the first time. People didn't know what to fear more, Titans or Eren. Blood covered the streets, buildings collapsed, and soldiers had to swing through the air just to survive. The Battle of Trost wasn't just about saving the city, it was about hope. And it showed fans that Attack on Titan was not afraid to take risks or lives. The Forest of Death. It sounds spooky because it is. This is the second part of the Chunin exams. Teams had to survive for 5 days with no help, deadly traps, and enemy teams everywhere. But then Orochimaru showed up. He attacked Team 7 and put a cursed mark on Sasuke. Trees exploded, giant snakes attacked, and kids were fighting for real survival. The forest wasn't just a test, it was a war zone with Genin caught in the middle. Shibuya, busy streets, subway tunnels, neon lights. Now imagine all that turned into a curse nightmare. That's Shibuya during the Shibuya incident. Curses trapped everyone. Gojo fought alone underground. Jogo got burned. Hanami got erased. And Sukuna, he turned a city block into a crater. Shibuya is where everything changed. Friends died, villains rose, and fans, they couldn't stop screaming. This wasn't just a battlefield, it was a massacre, and it still hurts. Heaven's Arena, a 251-floor tower where fighters rise with each win. It starts as a cool tournament, but by floor 200, it gets deadly serious. This is where Gon and Killua learn about Nen. It's also where Hisoka waits, calm one moment, creepy the next. Their fight on the arena floor is flashy, smart, and full of tricks. Heaven's Arena is more than a battle spot. It's where boys became hunters, and the rules of the world got rewritten. Eisenwald Station. What begins as a simple train ride turns into an ambush. Eisenwald Guild tries to use a deadly flute called Lullaby to kill every guildmaster in one shot. But Team Natsu shows up, loud, proud, and way too strong. Trains explode, spells fly, and the station shakes like an earthquake. This was Fairy Tail's first real mission together, and fans got their first taste of how wild things were about to get. The World Martial Arts Tournament, a small stone platform with giant history. No flashy background, just 2 fighters and the crowd watching. Goku versus Jackie Chun, Tien versus Yamcha, Gohan versus Cell. Okay, that one broke the arena. What makes it iconic? Every great Dragon Ball warrior touched this stage at some point. Before gods and galaxies, this was where the action began, and sometimes simple beats epic. Hacho Village. This was supposed to be a peaceful swordsmith village, but then Upper Moon demons came crashing through. Muichiro fought with one lung. Mitsuri showed why she's a Hashira, and Tanjiro unlocked a new move mid-battle. Swords snapped, houses burned, but no one backed down. By the end, it wasn't just a village that was saved. It was a turning point in the war against Muzan. Hueco Mundo, a desert under a black sky. That's Hueco Mundo, the home of the Arrancar. It's where Ichigo breaks in to save Orihime, but ends up battling Ulquiorra on top of a tower. The fight is cold, brutal, and quiet, until Ichigo goes full hollow. When the dust clears, Ichigo wins, but barely. Hueco Mundo was never saved. It was where power came with a price, and every win left a scar. The Final Valley. Statues of Hashirama and Madara stand tall beside a waterfall. This place has seen 2 fights that shook the ninja world. First, Naruto versus Sasuke in part 1. Then again, at the very end of Shippuden. Both fights were personal. No army, no war, just 2 boys, best friends and rivals, punching through pain. The battlefield itself is symbolic, past versus future. And in both fights, the valley remembered every hit. Kamino Ward, a city block in Japan that turned into ground zero for the showdown between All Might and All for One. Students were trapped, Nomu were loose, and 2 legends clashed in the sky. All Might pushed past his limit and delivered the United States of Smash. The punch shook buildings and fan hearts, but after the dust, All Might was done. Kamino wasn't just a battlefield. It was the place where the symbol of peace fell. Aaron's basement. Wait, what? A basement? Yes, because that tiny room under Aaron's house held the biggest secret in the series. After years of fighting titans, dodging death, and crying over walls, the heroes reach the basement and find out the world is way bigger and way scarier. The battlefield wasn't physical this time. It was in the mind, and every fan who saw that key turn knew nothing would ever be the same again. Tenro Island. The island was sacred ground for Fairy Tail. It's where S-Class exams were held. But then, Grimoire Heart invaded. And then, Acnologia showed up. The Black Dragon didn't just attack. He erased the island with one breath. Fairy Tail's strongest were gone. Poof. Fans cried. The guild cried. And for 7 years, Tenro Island stayed in their hearts as a place of loss and legend. The Sky Dome. This arena sat on the edge of the demon world during the Dark Tournament. Bloodstained stone. Roaring fans. No rules. This is where Yusuke faced Toguro at 100% power. Each punch cracked the walls. Every scream shook the stands. And when Yusuke finally won, he did it for his friends, not for the crowd. The Sky Dome was more than a ring. It was a test of heart.